You know, have you ever just sometimes you're having a conversation or you may be having a debate and then you got to go over it and see what's said because sometimes you may not catch everything that was said and you may miss an understanding or an interpretation or something. So sometimes you got to go over the video and review the video, see who touched the ball last. You did. So I'm going over this fresh and fit video and I'm thinking about preferences because they were talking about preferences. And dig this here, man. So we're talking about preferences. So I'm looking up the definition of preference. A greater liking or a greater liking for one alternative over another or others. He chose a clock in preference to a watch. He chose a clock in preference to a watch. So preference is normally talking about what you like, but you got this, how when people flip it and try to make a point make sense, but in all actuality, you're not making sense and people aren't catching it. Because he's trying to clean up this he doesn't like black women thing. Or he may not like black people. He may be a fake, but most definitely he doesn't like black women. But he calls it a preference. But normally a preference is about what you like. And I'm catching on to his preference talks about what he doesn't like. You ever seen somebody do that? Because that's weird.
Went back to Africa and you found a beautiful, gorgeous woman that you were attracted to, like, would you date her and marry her?
No, I've told my mom this actually too, because she's asked me. I'm from Sudan. She's like, "Do you want to marry a Sudanese woman?" I said no.
Oh, she didn't specifically have to be Sudanese.
No, but that's where my parents are from. So
Okay.
yeah, the answer is no. Like I have a certain particular look that I'm looking for, and just Sudanese women tend to not match that.
What is the issue with black women?
With all due respect, I don't have to explain myself. I'm just gonna keep it like that. Like,
Period.
like just like no one questions a woman when she says, "I like this and that." Okay. We respect it.
It doesn't matter why.
I don't think any man has to explain himself when it comes to his dating preferences. No one bats an eye when women say, "I want a man that's 6 feet tall, makes a certain amount of money, blah blah blah." Those are considered preferences. But if I say, "Hey man, I don't date black girls like that," oh God,
you hate black women.
How dare you?
You know what I'm saying?
You see, pause right there. Preferences are about what you like. I just read the definition. Preferences, noun, plural noun, preferences. A greater liking for one alternative over another or others. He chose a clock in preference to a watch. See, he's not actually talking about his preference. He's just talking about what he doesn't like. Preferences are about what you like more than something, but he's taking the word preference, and he's changing the meaning of it and talking about what he doesn't like. So he doesn't know what he's talking about. And they're sitting up going for this BS. Yeah, that's what it is. A bunch of BS. Let's keep listening.
It's ridiculous.
My mom's black. Your mom's black.
Yeah.
My sister's black. Like, bro, we just have a preference.
No. They're taking it and flip-flopping it. A preference is what you like. It doesn't state about what you don't like. It's what you like more than the other or others. That's what a preference is. They're flip-flopping it and making it into a preference of what they don't like. But that is not what preference means. That's not what it means.
If we hated black women, would we bring African American women and black women on the show?
Okay, but the
Yes, you would. Yes, that's what people that hate people do. They would still bring them on the show because you want to embarrass them. See, that's why you can really expose your hatred and try to cover it up. See, he's blanketing his hatred. His hatred is with a blanket, a soft blanket. He's putting a soft blanket on his hatred and trying to make it like a preference. But preference is about what you like over the others. He's saying what he just doesn't like. And yes, you would. That's what people that hate others do. Yes, they bring them out on a platform or they put them out to the public and they try to embarrass them. That's what people would do if they hate people. Yes. Yes. And why do you have the majority of black women on there and that's what you talk about the most? It's like, on one hand, you like them enough to come on there, but then on the other hand, you're talking about your preferences. You don't like black women. But the meaning of preference is what you like more than the others. So he's flip-flopping and doing reverse psychology. Black woman, you got to wake up. Y'all need to be breaking these videos down. Where the black woman at breaking these videos down? Because I done summed it up. I done got down to the conclusion of it. And then here's another thing. What you can't have, you might as well say you don't like anyway. Because you can't have it. So you might as well say you don't like what you can't get or you can't have.
All the time.
The question.
Let me finish.
Okay.
We would
Please.
not if we had an issue with them. Our dating preferences are our preferences. Just like you have the prerogative as a woman to date a man that makes a certain amount of money, a height, income, whatever it is.
Yeah, her preferences are what she likes. It's not what she doesn't like. The women always give a preference of what they like. Myron and Fresh give a preference that they don't like black women.
No one bats an eye. We are free to choose who we want to.
And how lame is that when you got another man that speaks for another man and say, we are free to choose Fresh and I? You just a lame goofy.
Hook up with and date. Like, what the hell? Like, there's nothing wrong with having preferences. Why is it when men have preferences?
He acting like a female right now. He's acting like he's really with his back up against the wall. He's feeling like he's being ganged up on about this question. Nah. They should have just asked you, why is it that your preference is what you don't like, but the definition of preference is what you like more than the others? Why are you flip-flopping the definition of preference?
Considered discrimination, but when a woman has preferences, she's championed for it. The crazy thing to me is this.
Yeah, her preferences are normally what she likes, and she likes good things. Yeah, she likes great things about men. Understandable.
If we had said, we don't date Latinas, or we don't date white girls, or we don't date Asian girls, no one would bat an eye. But if we say, you know what, man, we just don't prefer black girls. Oh, God, that's racist.
Right then and there. Preference doesn't mean what you don't like. Where'd y'all get these clowns from? They're using reverse psychology or they're flip-flopping the meaning of words. How are they flip-flopping the meaning of preference? Preference is what you like. A preference is what you prefer. He keeps flip-flopping it. The women normally talk about what they prefer. Simple. Watch the show. That's all they do is talk about what they prefer. But Myron and Fresh are taking the meaning of preference and flip-flopping it instead of saying what they like. They tell the audience that they don't like black women or they don't prefer black women. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah.
No, it is not. It is just a preference, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think it's ridiculous that we live in this clown world nowadays where we have to worry about people's feelings.
I just think it's so much racism.
And there we go. Now he wants to talk about feelings and bring feelings up into it when the only one that was just doing a rant and flip-flopping the meaning of preference was a man. Okay. So since he wants to bring feelings into it, let's just think about this. Your show brings on women. You bring women on your show, and the majority of the people that you bring on your show, out of all the women, are black women. So what I'm thinking about is this part. Since he's saying we live in a world where people are in their feelings, well, let's just think about man and women. Normally, women are the emotional creatures. Okay? They're the main emotional creatures on this earth besides the man. Okay? They deal with their emotions more often. Okay? So Fresh likes to bring, Myron and Fresh, they like to bring women on their show, these emotional women on their show. And then they want to complain about the world being emotional. Then why you keep bringing these women on your show? Why would you bring women on your show that you complain about? Why would you bring women on your show that you don't like? Why would you bring women on your show that you don't like and you complain about? So a preference of what you like, they don't know what he likes because he doesn't say it. But he likes to let them know what he doesn't like. He has a preference of what he doesn't like. But it's about what you prefer. But the word preference is about what you prefer. And he brings on women that are emotional creatures, and then he complains about the world being emotional. Now, this is a contradiction. Because why would you bring the women on that are emotional creatures, and then you're dealing with emotional creatures? You don't like black women, but you like to have them on your show, and then you go back and forth with them. Then you complain about the world being too emotional. There's more women than men in the world, so it's going to be more emotional. But your show is fixated on bringing emotional women there. So your world, when you're doing your show, is surrounded by emotions. I think he's just a walking contradiction. It just sounds like contradiction after contradiction.
Going on, and there's so much colorism going on within the black community. It's such a touchy topic. You may not understand.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We are here with some internet bad boys.
Yeah.
Okay, and we got to get to the bottom of something. Why do you guys not like black women?
Here we go.
Well, we just came from the KKK rally, so we really can't.
Were you well received?
They told me I couldn't join.
Ah,
they told me I
yes.
couldn't join.
Yes,
They're like, hey,
yes,
you're an
they
Arab?
have their
nah,
rules.
You don't count, bro. Get out of here, boy. I was like,
I'm fucking
damn,
with you.
okay.
But obviously, you saw what happened on the internet. You guys saw us react to it.
Yeah.
You hit me.
Uh-huh.
And like I've always said on this podcast, if we ever talk about somebody and they want to clarify their opinions or at least have a conversation about it, you're always welcome. You said, hey, I want to come on. You are here. The floor is yours. Tell us what happened.
So I went to this KKK rally. No, I'm just kidding. No, man, long story short, so this is kind of a longer story, but...
Right.
We got time.
Oh, we got time? We got time today? Yeah. So we had Asian Doll come on our show.
Yeah.
Right, and you booked her as a guest.
Yeah, so
right?
funny story. So I met her in the club. We spoke, me and her manager, and we had a cool vibe, cool person. Hey, come on the show. We'll show you some love. Boom, boom, boom. She agreed. Cool. Next day comes around. Her manager's there. She's 2 hours late.
Right.
But we're like, you know what? We'll start the show. You know what? Just showing you love. We'll still bring you on, even though you're 2 hours late.
Yeah.
But, you're coming into it kind of like 2 hours late. And then from there.
And then, mind you, so we had been having the show going on already.
Yeah.
And we had 2 girls, well, actually one girl that was on the panel. She kept interrupting, and you guys know running a podcast, you can't have people having sidebar conversations.
Yeah. Distracting for the listener.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So, and we're live. So it's not like we can do it in post or anything like that. So it's like everything they say, they can hear it, and the audience, doesn't want to hear that.
Yeah.
So I told her for the 7th time, and this is when Asian Doll just sits down.
Yeah.
Hey, can you stop having a sidebar conversation? I've told you 6 or 7 times now.
Right.
So Asian Doll kind of steps to the girl's defense, oh, you're mean. And I was like, I just stopped the show, and I was like, how am I mean? And I explained to her, I had been telling her prior to you getting here
7 times
what was going on, 2 hours plus, for 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, well, you're just a mean ass nigga. And then she I don't care, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And even after I explained to her the situation, she basically responded by saying, "I don't care.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. I'll do
Yeah.
what I want. I'm gonna say what I want. Blah blah blah."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Whatever. Well, then you can leave then." And Fresh had booked her, right?
Yeah.
And her manager was there. So instead of me, like, out of respect for him, because like normally I'd be kicking people off the show. I don't care. But out of respect for him, because he booked it and everything, I was like, you know what? Fresh, you handle this. You know, I was mad. Not mad, but I was like serious. I was like, well,
Right.
you got this. And I just like walked away from the situation. I had to use the bathroom anyway. I always drink water. So, and then by the time I came back, I was gone for like a minute or two. They were gone and they left. And I don't really have anything bad to say about them. It's just like, come on, man, please respect
But
the
is
platform.
that where this whole conversation stemmed from? Because I heard about the Asian
blamed
doll
it on the
situation.
Asian doll.
I'm not.
Listen. It's like he's taking the start of the hate of black women and he's blaming it on Asian doll. I mean, that's what I'm getting out of it. Because they asked him, why do you hate black women? And he went straight to the Asian doll interview. That's crazy work. It's crazy work.
Really too familiar with her, but I am familiar with people potentially being rude on a podcast. It's your podcast.
Yeah.
You don't like the way they're acting, you could potentially kick them out.
Yeah,
That's
so-
your prerogative.
I think
we're talking what?
I think what he's saying is because people were offended by that, then they go scrub through the history.
Exactly.
and they pull
So
up
let
clips.
me. Now I'm gonna fast forward to. Now I'm gonna fast forward.
So that,
You
you're
cleaned
saying
it.
the internet
He
is like,
cleaned it.
fuck these
He cleaned it up for Myron. That's all.
guys. I hate them. Let me figure out why.
Yeah. So,
Exactly.
So basically, all that happened, right? Shade Room posted, and of course they posted out of context, like, oh, you know, he told this girl to get out, blah blah blah, and he was being rude. But they don't realize that I was actually talking to the other girl, not Asian Doll herself. She stepped in to intervene for the other girl.
Got you,
But she had not known that girl was being extremely disruptive to the podcast.
Listen. Did he tell Asian Doll to get out and have Fresh and them handle it because he didn't want to handle it? Because I thought he just said that he had Fresh handle it. You can get out. And he gonna have Fresh handle it. Now he talking about the other girl, not Asian Doll. What's going on, man?
Podcast 2 hours prior,
Got
for
you,
2
got
hours
you,
before
got
that. And I actually documented in another show the 6 or 7 times I told her, please stop having cyber conversations.
Right.
Please stop doing that. Please. Being nice the whole time.
Yeah.
So
He really
what she does is she goes on Twitter and says, I was just defending a black woman, Cap. Right?
Right.
Like, it
Bruh.
wasn't that. You got called out because you didn't know what happened prior. You didn't want to look stupid. So now you're going to go ahead and say, I'm a savior. I just was protecting a black woman. Then that's when Twitter pulls out that old clip from a year ago and says, these guys are racist too. Check this out. And then bang, that's when all the backlash started coming.
And it's funny.
Now, what's the clip that we're talking about? It was the one where you guys were saying that you don't, your
Dabble in the dark.
preference is dabble in the dark.
Yeah, so-
the Knight Rider shit was funny, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Now, it's
David
not.
Hasselhoff, man. I always say
Here's
it.
the thing. Knight Rider.
I mean, do they talk about white riders? Do they talk about the El Caliente riders? Do they talk about the Spanish mommy riders? Huh? Do they talk about the Boricua riders? Huh? He's not a Boricua rider? Do he talk about the Sun Desert riders? Because if he's want to talk about night riders, what are the Indians? The Sun Desert? Because if you're going to have a name for black people, as far as not having sex with them, or having sex with them, call them night riders. Oh, okay. What are the other races then? What are the other names? Okay, you got night rider, okay, for black people, and then I ask, okay, so then I say, so you got white rider for white people. Okay, so what you got for the Asian people? What you got for them? What you got for the sand niggers? What you got for them? What's the riders for them? What you call those? Oh, I would have been on him.
Rider is looked at as fucked up because you're saying you don't do it. But if I was a white dude and I'm like, bro, I'm a Knight Rider, bro. I love Knight Rider.
Imagine being able to build anything,
When he tells his
for any reason,
he
in
says
any
it's
style,
a joke
at any
about
scale.
black people.
Might be racist too. But not received as poorly. That being said, I understand where you guys are coming from. You're like, yo, none of y'all had an
His
issue with
jokes
this a
are
year
about
ago.
black women
Now
that
that
he
this
don't like.
girl stirred up the internet.
All of Myron jokes are about black women, and he don't like black women, and he doesn't date black women.
made it in Shade Room, made everybody hate us.
Yeah.
They're looking for the worst things that we said. And if you podcast for 9 hours a week, you could easily go and find an excerpt in those 9 hours where you look horrible.
So I'll explain that part, right? So this backlash happens, right?
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
I was defending a black girl. Cap, it wasn't that. You just
Right.
look dumb and you didn't want to look dumb. So you guys
Right.
said defend a black girl. Boom. Then someone resurfaces this Twitter thing. Mind you, we had already went viral because of this.
On Twitter.
On Twitter prior, like 6
year
months
ago.
before.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
literally.
So, but the thing is it never went to YouTube. It just
Stayed
on Twitter, died there. Like
Gotcha.
something called Black Twitter. I didn't even know it existed until this clip came out.
Shocking.
So, yeah.
I bet it was white girl Twitter.
They
You
were
all
real.
over that
They-
shit.
I had a bunch of angry people messaging me after. So anyway, so the clip resurfaces, blah blah blah, and with that episode, what they did was they pulled like a 30-second excerpt from an episode we did about a year ago where we talked about using different dating apps to meet different girls. And
Okay.
our show, for those of you that might not know, we shoot it live, right?
Yep.
And we get super chats that come in, and we read the super chats. We make jokes, ha ha ha, all that
Yeah.
other stuff. We
And
take call-ins.
Those are donations, by the way.
Donations,
Donation
yeah.
to the show.
And we're-
Yeah.
So it's a very interactive show with our audience. So someone sent in a super chat, and mind you, we had just finished making fun of some other YouTubers in this clip, but prior to what they actually clipped. And then he says, "Hey, have you ever heard of the dating website Blacked?" And then that's when we made those jokes like, "Haha, we don't dabble in the dark," Night Rider.
They make jokes about black women that they don't like. Interesting. What do they say good about black women? Because if you always got something bad to say, normally you got something good to say. If you ain't really if you really not like that, if you're not racist, you should have something good to say about the culture. He doesn't. He doesn't have nothing to say good about the culture. Culture vulture. Real talk. I don't even know why black people will let him on their platform, not unless they're checking him. Every black woman should check him every time. He only makes joke about black women, but he don't like them. So how can he make joke? How can he joke with them if he don't like them? It's not love. It's no love. Those are hate jokes. That's what it is. Hate jokes.
Or whatever. And we say that joke all the time about like Night Rider. We ask girls when they come on, like white girls, "Hey, do you like the BBC, whatever?"
Yeah,
and she's
yeah.
like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, she's a Night Rider. David Hasselhoff in the house, ha ha ha." Right?
Right.
No one says anything, but they want to go and pull that clip.
But don't you think that
Okay. What do you call the Spanish girl? Do you call them a Boricua whiter? Huh? What are the Spanish? What do you call the Spanish? Because I haven't heard the white rider. He got to be calling all the cultures of some type of rider. Because why are you only calling black women a Night Rider that you don't? Because look, they don't like black women, right? But they got all the jokes about them, all the negative jokes. So you got negative jokes for black women, but you don't like them. And when it comes down to the word preference, you take the word preference and you use it for what you don't like, but the defined meaning of the word means what you like more than others, what you prefer.
issue is you guys just declaring that you don't really date black girls? Don't you think that's what people are upset about?
Well, I mean, at the same time, we have preferences, right? And
Nope. And here it comes. You hear 'em? At the same time, we have preferences. They must, I mean, look it up. Just look up the word preference. Just read the definition. It's real short and small. You mean to tell me these guys that they call black women dumb, they love to call people dumb. A small word like preference. It's just one itty bitty little sentence defining the definition of preference.
David Hasselhoff in the house. Ha ha ha. Right.
Right.
No one says anything, but they want to go and pull that clip.
But don't you think the issue is you guys just declaring that you don't really date black girls? Don't you think that's what people are upset about?
Well, I mean, at the same time, we have preferences, right? And we have standards. But, you know, we were kind of joking because of the black dating app per se.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
like, oh, we hate black women. It's more like, okay, we don't really date.
No, they hate black women. They hate black women. It's clear and it's obvious. You got some type of hatred. It's almost like they were bullied by black women. They probably got laughed at in high school by black women or something. They probably would. All those black guys fucking them black women and you can't get none. You mad.
Like hood black chicks per se, like
Right.
LaShawn and LaQuisha. But it wasn't
Right.
like we hate black women. It's like they took it that way because of Asian Doll, but we didn't say we hate black women.
Right.
LaShawn and LaQuisha sound like some haters. Cause he got the names for them. You know, it's all these jokes for the women that they don't like. That's interesting. You know. So if it's jokes and you're a comedian, where are the jokes for the Spanish girl? What names do they have for them? What names do they have for the white girls? What do they call? Because I don't hear it. You know, I need to hear more of the jokes for everyone. But they like white girls. But they don't like black women. But they only talk about stuff that they don't like about black women. And when they talk about what they do like, the traits that they do like. See, when they talk about traits, they talk about women. But when they talk about what they don't like, they talk about black women.
But you would date black girls, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have in the past.
bro.
It's not our normal.
Now wait a minute. You mean to tell me now you're talking about you would date black women, the women that you talk about, the women that you're trying to clown and talk about, always got negative jokes about. You say you don't mess around in the dark and you don't mess with, you don't do night riders. You're not a night rider. Now he'll date black women. This is interesting.
Preference.
At a yacht party,
Right.
bunch of white girls. I was dating the only black girl there.
Right.
It's like, bro, I don't hate black women. My mom's black. My sister's black.
He does. See, you don't hate your family. We get it. I'm going to say it like this. You can't get a black woman, so you hate them. See, that's what's really going on. They can't get one, I believe, so they hate them.
It was like, what?
Yeah.
Weird.
It's just like, you know, they're going to sensationalize it, paint this narrative that you guys are racist, take a 10-second clip. And here's the thing. If anybody watches
Yeah.
our podcast, we're kind of like you guys, very politically incorrect, make jokes.
That's the thing. I never.
Politically incorrect and make jokes. Politically correct and make jokes. They make jokes about black women they make jokes about, they make negative jokes about black women that they don't like.
Criticize people
you're
for
not like
jokes.
us.
Yeah.
That's the. I'm not gonna. But then again, we might have different prerogatives with the podcast. Like I think
Yeah.
you guys are more in like a life coaching space and
Yep.
like helping guys become the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
And we are comedians that just say fucked up shit all the
And I
time.
think-
It's literally called flagrant too. Like we are being flagrant on purpose. So
Yeah.
you're gonna be treated with different expectations.
Of
Yeah,
course,
true.
of
That's true.
course. And the thing is this, like, I make fun of everybody, you
But
know.
go into the preference thing, man. Let's talk about what.
I make fun of everybody. So it's like,
fuck that.
when they-
Preferences, bro. Like,
Preferences.
I
Yeah,
want to
here's
know.
where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem. Well, I'm not saying I don't have a problem with the joke, but I have empathy for trying to be funny, and then it comes out fucked up, and then everybody's on your neck.
Exactly.
That's something
Yes. Yeah.
Al can speak to black shit a lot more. I can speak to, yo, you're trying to be funny. It comes out fucked up. That's not what you meant. What I don't like, what I find corny as fuck, is my preference is not my women. I thought it was I'm not dating my women, period, which is the corniest human being outside of a criminal to me, period. It's just
Well, here's the thing. If you guys would just look at the defined meaning of preference, and just ask them. Well, here's the meaning of preference. It means what you like more than others, or what you prefer over something else. And you're using it as something that you don't like. Now, why are you using the word preference as something that you don't like? Now, why are you using the word preference? And for black women, you're using the word preference as you don't like black women. Normally, preference is just what you like. So it sounds kind of hateful. Nah, it sounds hateful.
Those are your roots. Those women are reflected in your roots. So if you're saying, hey, I don't generally date them, but I have more space for it, even though I still think it's a little corny between.
It's not just about what they prefer. No, they prefer to make jokes about the women that they don't date or like. Because you can't tell me that they like black women after they bring them on the show. And when he gets mad, he wants to call them the hard ER, nigger. And then his preference isn't what he likes. His preference is that he doesn't like black women. So his preference is to single out black women. Have you ever heard of that? Have you ever seen somebody do this? Myron, it might be a rap on you, man.
That's just my thing.
Like Akash is the extreme. Like Akash only dates brown.
Oh, okay.
Akash has been with one girl in his life who is his wife.
That's my wife. That's an
So
Indian
this
woman.
is
that was
like
important to
loyal
me.
through and through.
Okay.
And I understand it's not as important for y'all, but as an Indian, there's not a lot of us who are famous. So whether you like it or not, people are looking at you as a role model. You guys have established yourselves as role models. From simps to pimps, which is another motto I find kind of corny, but I looked into what you guys are about. And a lot of the shit is just...
So, okay, if they establish themselves as role models, let me think about this. So, they don't date black women. And I'm thinking, if you don't date black women, you're not interacting with them. You can't give me no advice on how to get with those type of women. So, what advice is he giving me? Because all women are different culturally. They're not the same. So, if they don't mess with black women, and if they don't date black women, I'm going to believe that they don't like black women, or they can't even get one. The majority of men that I know, they only mess with black women. And even if I got some homeboys that only mess with their kind, they still like black women. They don't talk about what they don't like, and I don't like. When they talk about their preferences, they don't say, I don't like black women. That's crazy. When we're talking about preferences, we talk about what we prefer, what we like, over something else, over the others.
Childish, which is fine if you want to be funny. We just talk about how doctors ain't shit for 45 minutes. We are not in any way life coaching. We are not in any way trying to help men outside of, hey, come have a laugh for a couple hours. If you're going to paint yourself as life coaches and then say shit like, you know what I mean, I just don't really fuck with black girls like this.
I guess my like just curiosity, I'm just curious, is like, where does preference come from? Like, I was trying to think about this after I saw the clip, and I was just like, why do I like what I like? And I really was thinking about that.
Yes, because he knows what the word means. He's kind of tapping in because that's what it means. It's about what you like over everything else.
Like, who decides that? Is it my life? Is it my surroundings? Like, if I was raised in Mexico, I'm sure I would find Mexican girls beautiful. I would eat Mexican food. Like, these would be my preferences. Yeah. But preferences aren't really choices, right? Culture dictates our preferences.
I think it's experiences. Also, I want to say what you've been raised on, what you've been.
Woo. Just take a look. It's in a book. It's reading Rainbow. Man, just take a look. It's in a book. What preferences mean. This is crazy work. Crazy work. Don't none of these men want to look up what preferences mean. They don't want to look up what the word preference means. It's easy. It don't even take that long. It's real easy.
Taught because, for example, I'm from the islands, right? Barbados.
Yeah.
So I've seen mainly black women my whole life. Now, when it comes to like tourist girls, I was like, wow, white girls are here in Barbados? lit. I want to see what's
They're
up.
wildin'.
So
Yeah.
I give it a try. Like, it's pretty dope.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
it's two different cultures. So for me, I was like, okay, let me try something new, see how it is.
Yeah.
Now I'm here in the States, it's like, okay, Spanish girls, white girls, girls from all over the world, all right, bet. However, regarding black women per se, like, dude, like, my thing is, like, we're in a space where, like, people are targeted, especially the black people per se, black, white.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, whatever you say can be used to the extreme. So what we said was kind of like, I want to say, not funny to them, but to us is like, we're just cracking jokes, trying to be.
No. They're cracking jokes about women that they don't like. And when they're asked about what they prefer, or when they tell people what they prefer, they single out, I don't prefer black women. And then the meaning of the word preference is what you like. So they're trying to flip flop and reverse psychology, use reverse psychology on this. Do you hear this? They're talking about what they don't like, singling out black women, calling it a preference. If this ain't no reverse talk, I don't know what else is. Please, if somebody else can explain this to me, explain to me why he takes the word preference and takes it and singles out black women and say he does and say they don't like those, or that's not what they like to date. Oh, I don't prefer black women. Whoa, hey man, we was talking about what you like. That's what you prefer. Not what we didn't ask you what you didn't like. And then I thought you didn't like traits. Listen, I thought they talking about traits, attributes. They already said they would date black women. But when told about what do they prefer, oh, I don't prefer black women. You want to single them out. That's crazy work.
Being hyperbolic about your dating preferences,
Yeah,
right?
pretty
That's
much.
kind of how I took it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I think I think you can understand how the internet might have taken it, right? And then doubling down and being like, it's okay to have this as a preference that you like. Usually, your preference is what you like, not what you don't.
Exactly.
Booyah. So they take their preferences and they single out black women. They take their preferences and they single out a group of people in America, a cultural specific group, black women, and he takes his preference instead of what he likes. I don't like, or I don't prefer black women.
I think that was the biggest issue. Like, if you just
Yes.
like, hey, my preferences, I kind of like Latinas, I don't even think you get any pushback.
Because that's how you use the word preference. It's about what you like. It's simple. Now, why would they take that word and change it around? Why would you do that when it's so simple? You could just make it. Look, the show probably would go way more easier and would probably be more simple if they just talked about what they liked. Why do you have to single the black women out when it comes to your preference and say that you don't prefer black women? Why is that your goal, to change the defined meaning or the defined use, the use of the word? Why are you using it wrong? Why don't they want to use that word the right way?
But saying my preference is I don't like that.
That's using it wrong. That's using it wrong. Now, why are they stuck on using that word wrong? Interesting. Let's hear it.
That's, I think, where people start to feel rejected, and then they go, why don't you like me, man? Like,
And
what's
also
wrong?
the
Yeah.
way they said they didn't like it. Like, that's
Yeah, because when they say it with an attitude. Because they just talked to him and asked him. They were just talking and asked him, would you date black women? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I dated black women. Yeah, we would. But then your preference is single out black women and let the world know that you don't date black women. That's some crazy work.
that's what I was like bothered by the clip. It's like, you guys go out of your way to say what you don't like.
Yeah. They go out of their way to single out black women and say they don't like black women. But that's all they have on the show. They have a bunch of those on the show. So you mean to tell me it's like they're starting shit with black women? It's like there's some bitches. They're like some little women themselves. And they bring, it's like, you know how women are bring women with them? Like Myron said, you think I had black women on this show if I didn't like black women? Yeah, because that's what bitches do. Bitches love to bring bitches around that they don't like and then start shit. Now, black women, don't y'all know that's the truth? They acting like some black women. They hate black women, the ones that be hating on you. It's like a love-hate relationship. Because why would you love them so much? You want them in your face next to you on the show. But then while they're there, you're going to, look, when it's a time to talk about what you like, you tell them you don't like black women. Interesting. So what's your preference? My preference is that I don't like black women. Got about 4 or 5 black women sitting at this table. This is crazy work. I'm just thinking about that is some crazy work. How do you prefer what you don't like? And why do you go out your way to let everybody know what you don't like when the word is supposed to be used for what you like?
Even though that's not what you're discussing, it's like your preference is what you do like, but then the way in which you went about how you don't like black women, oh, I don't like the ratchet, I don't like the ghetto, I don't like the Shaniquas, like that's like if you.
Because then it's like you go into what you don't like and then you got all the jokes for what you don't like as well. But you don't do that for all the others. He got 3 white girls that's putting hands on black women up in that studio. So black women, y'all need to be careful while y'all going on that show, man. He's setting you up. He's going to look, he don't date black women. So therefore, he don't know nothing about you. He knows stereotypes. See, that's what he knows. He's going off of stereotypes, and he's taking black women, continually bringing them on the show. Okay? Just think about this. You don't like black women, but you keep bringing them on your show. Okay? And then when you talk about your preference of, when it's time to talk about your preference of what you like, you say, well, I don't prefer black women. So it's kind of like I don't know how that can make the show better. Like, how, when it's somebody that doesn't like a certain culture or a certain race group and they're against dating them, just think about this. He's against dating black women. Okay. The show normally he's getting into it with black women. Majority. That's who he gets into it with. But now I'm thinking about it. If he doesn't like black women, if they don't prefer to date black women, and they're having them on the show, are they like just starting shit on purpose? So they're bringing black women on there that they don't date. So if you don't date them, you don't have experience with having success in dealing with them. So what I'm saying is this. If they don't date black women, I'm going to say they never had any good experiences with them. Okay? And the reason why I'm bringing up that they must not have had any good experiences with black women, because they talk about all the bad stereotypes. And when I think about all the drama on the show, if they haven't had any good experience with black women when they were dating them, it's like they're still not having any good experiences with them now. It's like when they were dating them, they didn't have any good experiences with them. And it's like, As of now, he's not having any good experiences with them. And on top of that, he doesn't date them. They don't date them. Him and Fresh don't date black women. But then they're surrounded by a bunch of black men. You don't date black women. You're surrounded by a bunch of black men. You got 3 white girls putting hands on black women on the show if they get too loud and out of line. You don't date black women. You say you like black women, but you don't date them. You don't date them. When it's time to talk about what you like, as far as what you prefer, you say you don't prefer black women. And then on top of that, you got racial jokes. You got jokes about them.
Went back to Africa.
That's interesting.
It's like you guys go out of your way to say what you don't like, even though that's not what you're discussing. It's like your preference is what you do like, but then the way in which you went about how you don't like black women. Oh, I don't like the ratchet. I don't like the ghetto. I don't like the Shaniquas. Like, that's like, if you were a white person saying all that, that's racist shit. And I'm just disappointed in you guys as black men to be talking about our sisters like that. So you don't have a problem with the way you spoke about your sisters like that? Like if it was him saying the same thing, you would be upset.
No.
So if he was like, "Oh, I don't like ghetto black women. I don't like Shaniquas,"
it wouldn't bother me.
That's a preference.
Wow.
Because
And Fresh is like, that's a preference. This is unbelievable how these two are going to change the word preference to what they don't like. It's only used, the word is to be used for what you like. This is like taking it and changing it into, when you use preference, you use it to say you don't like black people because he doesn't use it for nothing. Okay, if he uses the word preference, because they're saying it's a preference, not dating black women, that's a preference. That's not the trait. They're not talking about the traits. They're just talking about they don't date black women. That's a preference. Okay, cool. Oh, okay. Then what are the other preferences that you don't like? Because what else do they prefer not to like? Because there's got to be a word that you use like this for other things. It's got to be something that you use for other things. When you prefer something, the only time you prefer something is when you prefer what you don't like. It's crazy work.
Thing is that
that's lame.
The only thing I can control is my reactions.
My man's, that's lame. It is. And when you really break it down, it's even lamer because the word doesn't mean to tell people, or the word doesn't mean, the word isn't used for what you don't like. The word is used for what you like. So yeah, that's lame that he's trying to portray this smart guy and he's calling black women dumb, stupid, but he's using the word backwards. He using the word in a reverse definition, the opposite of what it means.
To what happens in the world. Like the world is not a fun, it's not like a rosy place where everyone is going to not be biased or not be racist or whatever. Like I understand that there's going to be people that are inherently racist. It is what it is. The only thing I can control is my emotions to it. So I don't get mad about what people say because that.
Yes, he does. He gets mad at all the black women and what they say on the show. Oh yeah, he be tripping. Oh yeah, he gets mad. Call him a hard nigger. Call him a hard ER. Stupid nigger.
That's just the way things are. The world doesn't owe me understanding. So all I can do is control.
Real quick. You know what's weird is like
so
the word racist keeps getting thrown out. Like I never saw it as racist because I don't know. I didn't believe.
More like hatred. It's more like a female that loves female company, but doesn't like the females that they're hanging around. It's crazy work. So they're acting like a bunch of females.
That you guys wouldn't date a beautiful black woman.
Yeah, we have in the past for sure.
Yeah, like I just didn't believe that. And again, you guys can correct me, but like for me, the word like preference is so weird because I think our preferences are really like mechanisms that we use to find like emotional security. You know, like if a person's like super quiet, like if I'm like this quiet, like shy dude, my preference is probably an aggressive girl. because she allows me to be in my safe place.
Right.
I don't have to go like out of my way to go get her. And I'll probably prefer that girl, but it's not based on like this chemistry thing. It's really based on like what allows me to feel like emotionally secure, right? And like, let's say I'm a controlling ass dude. I probably want a girl that is a little bit more like in need of guidance because submissive, because then I get to feel my safe place, which is controlling.
Right.
So like, I feel like if a girl, and again, I can't speak for y'all, but I feel like if a girl gave you that emotional security, regardless of what race they were, you guys would date them, no? I can't feel like just because they're black, you would say no.
Yeah, here's the thing about the clip.
Context.
Like I said, it's context. It's us having a good time. It's us making jokes. We make fun of everyone. It's just that they don't clip all the other segments of us making jokes on everyone else. They want to clip that one section.
So you make jokes on everyone else that you don't like. And you single out a race group that you don't like. So do you not prefer Asian women and you got jokes for them too? Because that's basically what he's saying. What else do you prefer not to like? And you have jokes for it. That's the question they should ask him. What else do you prefer not to like? And let's hear a joke for it.
At 20, 30 seconds, say that, try to paint a narrative. You guys are racist, and because you guys are racist, this is why you kicked Asian Doll off your show. And
I don't think racist. I
never saw racist.
The racist,
yeah.
I don't.
But I'm just saying what they were trying to paint us as.
And you guys,
you know
I know people who know you. They say you're good guys, stand-up guys. So I don't have a problem with you as people.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have you on this podcast. And then, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, sure, we can have a
give you
discussion
dap
on
or
it,
whatever. But
We're like curious. This isn't
it's
a
not
gotcha
racist
thing. Like,
to
I'm
me.
literally curious to have the conversation.
Well, it does bother me in that I think it's not racist, it's self-loathing, which to me, I don't particularly give a fuck how any other race looks at us. I give a fuck how we look at ourselves. So if I saw Indians saying some shit like that, that would bother me more. Andrew told me he doesn't like Indian girls all the time. That's great. Don't date him. That's good for me. But when an Indian says that shit, right? Then it's like, yo,
I do that because you say you don't like white women.
I know. And
but if you keep this up, I'm going to divorce my wife and fuck a lot of Indian chicks just to prove you wrong.
Isn't that refreshing from a minority, though? You look at how the rest of them are acting. But I have a problem with somebody that I feel is self-loathing, and I'm not going to be as offended because you're not from where I'm from. But if I was black and I was Alex, I'd be like, yo, that shit is more than racist, is self-loathing, and that bothers me.
What do you guys say about
I get what you're saying.
Like, do you guys, so let's remove the racism thing here.
Yeah.
What about, do you think it has anything to do with self-loathing? Is there any like kind of like internalized hatred, which might not even be your fault? It might be like the surroundings you were in and made you feel like these girls weren't good enough for you.
I would say, honestly, bro, like, just experience, man. Like, for example, like you said earlier, if I met a girl that's like feminine, submissive, and like black, I could date her. And like in the past, like I told you, I had a yacht party. She was the only black girl there. I was dating her. So it's like, it's not I hate black women. It's more like experience shows me that, hey, for whatever reason, like, if I find somebody with those traits, I'll date them.
So this is interesting. A buddy of mine,
And we have different opinions on it,
Oh, well, go. I want to hear yours. I want to hear yours.
No, I mean, it's just like what I'm saying is that like it's not our normal preference, as in like it's not what I normally date. But if you were to take 10 girls that I've dated in the past, maybe 1 or 2 of them would be black.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not the normal thing I go for. And as far as like me being offended if someone were to say something about a race or whatever, like I said, I wouldn't personally be offended by it. I like we make jokes on everyone, so it's like, hey man, we make fun of Asian girls, white girls.
Again, I don't have an issue with the joke.
Latinas.
I have an issue with the mentality.
Yeah.
I think it's not about the joke.
The joke to me, you were talking to a guy who's made the craziest jokes, death threats from everywhere. I can separate myself and be like, that's a joke that failed. That's the high wire act.
We had Alex
trying to be
Jones on the
funny.
podcast.
No,
we don't give a fuck when it comes to the jokes, right?
No, for sure. But
I just want you guys to understand where the reaction is coming from, because I think it maybe will better help you.
No, we
respond
understand.
To it.
We understand.
Now, I was looking up the definition. Self-loathing, also known as a self-hatred, is a pervasive and intense dislike or disgust for oneself, often accompanied by feelings of worthlessness, shame, and inadequacy. Inadequate, yeah, because they were always inadequate of successfully getting with some black women. And they might be self-loathing.
So it's not the jokes. It's literally just feeling like you don't date a specific group of people and them trying to understand. I think that's what it is, because I think what you said is probably the most honest, which is, yeah, if this girl met all the things that I like in a woman and she was black, I'd obviously date her. But I don't know if you feel the same way.
No. If she met my requirements and her skin tone is irrelevant. But what I'm saying is that
He doesn't say. See, when he talks about what he prefer, he doesn't talk about the requirements. Nope. When he talks about what he prefers, he doesn't talk about the requirements that he likes. He talks about that. What he talks about is that he doesn't like black women, or he doesn't date. They don't date black women.
most of the time, you know, most of the girls that I've dated
Right.
just didn't fit that parameter of.
So here's the thing. Like
You know what
my
I'm saying?
buddy right now, who's
Requirements. Nigga, because they didn't feel like they was required to do that for you. Yeah, man. And them white girls going down, they get 3 black women that go against them 3 white girls. They're going down, man. Y'all letting them triple team one of y'all, man. Y'all better stick together. Girl power.
trying to find a Jewish girl, right? He might be in this room, and he's trying so hard to find a Jewish girl. And he just found Latin Jewish girls.
Ooh.
And he goes, oh my God, they got the whole Latin thing, and they're Jewish. And now all of a sudden the Latin thing is kind of like a preference, right? They're so sexy, they're so intimate, there's like
Spicy.
this spicy real connection. Now, there's nothing wrong with you saying, I like the Latin thing, right? Now you're putting that affect on all Latin women, which is not necessarily the case, but you want a Latin girl who is Jewish, right? So is it possible to put a cultural affect on a race? Maybe when you guys were speaking about race, you were really speaking about a cultural thing. Because if you made a girl from Lagos, Nigeria, they might act completely different than a girl that you're meeting from South Florida, a girl that you meet from California, a black girl, etc. Like there's not going to be this monolith amongst black women, right?
I would say,
Asking,
Or you
No,
just
I would
talking
say,
about
like,
both of
the
y'all.
American culture.
where you're raised will determine how you act for the most part, right? So Caribbean girls are different from girls from the U.S. versus like Nigeria. So it is culture, man. Honestly,
Yeah.
yeah. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
See, now they're trying to change it up and say it's cultural. It's the American girls. Okay. But when they talk about what they prefer, they say they don't like black women.
I'm looking for certain traits first, and then obviously, you know, her race is irrelevant if she matches certain traits that I'm looking for in a woman. But what I'm saying is that most of the women that I've dealt with just don't tend to be black, and it's not
What are
something
the
I
traits
necessarily go for.
that black women tend not to have? This is a dangerous question, but I have to ask.
I mean, there's obviously we know the stereotypes, which I won't even go into right now.
Stereotypes.
But
Stereotypes. I told you, that's all he has is stereotypes.
That black women tend not to have. This is a dangerous question, but I have to ask.
I mean, there's obviously we know the stereotypes, which I won't even go into right
That's
now.
all he uses
but
is stereotypes.
a lot of the time it doesn't.
See, that's fake as hell. That's lame.